Kapla, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lord Ice, your host, once again, and it is time to continue with Honor of the Orion. Let's see if it's actually visible on the list. Here it is. Mission objective: go to the glowing door in the red light district. Kapla, Lieutenant General. The Chancellor, Ambassador Satas, and myself have been reviewing the events that occurred in the Pharazan system with the Shiassi rebels. Since then, Patriarch Ruzith has sent an ambassador to Kronos to discuss the matter more discreetly. I won't say any more on an open channel. Ambassador Satas is talking to Ambassador Rufao on a tour of the first city. Their gods said they had stopped for some entertainment in that Orion club in the red light district. Kuvbel, if I believe it's called. Why don't you join the ambassador for an update on what's happened since? Right, the red light district is over this way, so we're going to go over this way. Oh, by the way, when Leonard Nimoy died, they added this. On Vulcan and Molrihan, there are actually statues of Spock, but that wouldn't have been appropriate on the Klingon homeworld. But the big actors that have died, and if you read the memorial plaque, there are quotes for each of them, which is really, really nice. And then there's a list of all of the... I wouldn't call them lesser people, but less well-known people. And sadly, the list is kind of long. Kapla, fallen warriors. It's a nice touch. Oh, red light district. You can tell that it's the red light district because, like the rest of the planet, it has red lights. Now, Kuvbel over here. Enter Club Kuvbel. And of course I've got to walk up in the club with a fully armed security team. Like I said in the last video, limitations of the engine. Literally nothing has changed since last time I recorded the video. It's been about 20 minutes. I ate a bowl of cereal. I was hungry. Club Kuvbel. Talk with the bouncer. I'll do some bouncing. Hey, no cutting in line. I'm here to see Ambassador Satas on behalf of the High Council. Oh, you're here to see the ambassador? Look, this isn't an embassy. Get back in line. Look, either let me in or I will come back with some warriors for some fun. Hey, no need for that. Okay, go in. But you might want to leave your crew behind unless you want them to get lost in here. And indeed I will, because I don't need to take any of these people clubbing yet. I'm on duty for now. Huh. So drunk he's passed out on the table. That's a wonderful sign. And of course, Gorn watching strippers. I'm not going to do the teaser that I would normally do, but let's just say we're going to be seeing one of these people again. Greetings, Lieutenant General. I wasn't aware you knew this place. Ambassador, Jimpok's aide said I could meet you here. I see. I see. You want to talk business. Frankly, I'm exhausted after showing the ambassador here around First City. I could use some relaxation first. These dancers are amazing. Listen, you warriors are always working so hard. Before we talk more, why don't you go enjoy yourself? Fine. Gonna go ahead and alter the UI a little bit. Lengthen the mission menu. Easy as that. You can hit Control F12 to do that, or if you're on a laptop and F12 does something, there's an FN button that you need to hold down along with Control. If I must dance, I will dance for the glory of the Empire. Poker? Why is someone playing poker when you could be playing Tongo? It's Dabo. Yes, it is a Ferosin and a Gorn on a first date. Yes, that's normal. Kapla, the two of you. You are bold. Sorry, I think the table's full. Kapla. Kapla, good luck against these Romulans. You're going to need it. They're probably going to cheat. If you are not the thinnest Gorn I have ever seen, you are close. What can I get you? Blood wine! That would be 5 slips. This irrelevant discourse has gone on long enough. Yes, that's a reference. Ah, this is wonderful. Some good Meridor, some beautiful women, and excellent music. After spending 6 months on Deep Space Nine and listening to that dreadful Ferengi drivel in quartz, coming back to the clubs of the First City is quite enjoyable. My apologies, Lieutenant General. The Ambassador has been very worn out by this situation. Perhaps I should introduce myself. I am Ambassador Rufao. I keep saying Ruafo because of Star Trek Insurrection. I am Ambassador Rufao of Sforasa. I want to thank you for your assistance a while back in dealing with the Shiassi. You mean 20 minutes ago? It was my honor, Ambassador. May I ask why I was summoned? I am afraid we were not as successful as we would like to have hoped against the Shiassi. What do you mean? We did destroy the clan, didn't we? Of course we didn't. No, you didn't. Think about your encounter on Frossa. Didn't the camp seem a bit empty to you? What about the Space Forces? Small and easily brought down by Ferocin security forces, and later a single Aatrox carrier, you and 2 other ships. No, the Shiassi are not dead. That force, while scheduled for a raid on Starbase 29, was not the main Shiassi force. In fact, we believe they are in the Nimbus sector at this time. How can this be, without a Patriarch to lead them? The Patriarch you killed was apparently just a figurehead. Data recovered from the Shiassi research lab you discovered points to his son leading the clan in secret for 6 months. Patriarch Marauso kept the honorary title for symbolic reasons, it seems. He knew when you arrived at the camp the Shiassi's plans would have to be put in motion, and with us believing he was dead, the clan alongside him, we would fail to notice his actions. After all, it is not just the Klingons who value an honorable death in combat. Dying to protect the clan's future, no matter how dishonorable that future is still respectable. So who's the new Patriarch? His name is Rowai Sek. He is not Patriarch proper yet. Such things need to be done on the Ferosin homeworld in the council chambers anymore. Rufao, Rowai Sek is dangerous, much more so than the old man you faced. He is committed to eugenics on a very wide scale. He is comparable to one of the founders of the Dominion. Even worse, we believe he is engaged in several covert operations in Klingon territory. Did you just say... Yes, I did. There have been strange occurrences on several Klingon worlds, specifically worlds conquered by the Empire and not absorbed in with the self-rule like the Gorn and Orions. We fear that he is arming rebels amongst the Jigpui, the conquered races. I am holding back the High Council from rash action for now, but I do not know how much longer I can continue to do so. Any action could lead to a far more devastating Klingon civil war than the one in the previous century. Jimpok's power has been questioned by half the house of the Empire for years now. Has been questioned by half the houses might be more appropriate. And if the Jigpui or any other vassal race rebel, we may witness the end of the Empire. Ambassador, Sitas, would I be wrong in assuming that you would be okay with the Empire collapsing? And the Gorn be free? I would be lying if I said I would not miss the days that Bex did not walk the streets of Gornar. But if the Empire collapses like this, the Gorn will be caught in the crossfire. We will be the first race to hold We are the first race to hold a seat on the High Council, even as a non-voting position, in the history of the Empire. There are many in the Empire who feel we do not deserve it. But this is my concern. My realm is politics, yours is the protection of the Empire, and that is why I need you. You may remember Ambassador Msan from Farasa. Well, the Shiassi did indeed destroy her ship, and the Orion Syndicate has been unusually quiet. Even though I've never met Milani Dion, I know that the loss of one of her flagships would instigate a response. Instead, the Orions seem to have stopped all raids and pirating activity, even calling on the Nausicaans and the Lithians to do the same. I am unsure of your marauding history, and I do not care. Right now, something is brewing. On top of it all, the Shiassi managed to raid 2 convoys, one carrying Voth technology from the Solanae Dyson sphere, and another with more biological specimens from Lobatan. A key convoy is leaving from Pycanis to Dyson Joint Command, carrying important supplies for the conflict with the Voth. And you want me to protect it? I am afraid it is already too late for that. The convoy has gone missing. There was no one guarding it? Hadibach. I want you to investigate the trade route of the missing convoy and locate them. With luck, you can catch the Shiassi raiders. This convoy would be too big for them to capture normally. In addition, I will inform the High Council of your acceptance of this mission. This situation is too volatile for us to have the KDF start overriding my orders. For the duration of this mission, I am your superior officer. As well, I will contact Ambassador Worf and have the House of Martok look into this matter. This is a matter of the Empire, and we need agents we can trust. Kapla, Lieutenant General. Please, be careful. This may be the start of something extremely dangerous, even for the Klingon Defense Force. Thank you, Ambassador. I will. I am worried about this situation, and right now I cannot afford to lose such a competent colleague. My paranoia is not unjustified. Kapla! As you leave, you notice the Orion dancer at your table was listening quite intensely. Considering the fragile state of politics, you are positive she must be working for the Syndicate. But in your position, it would be best to wait and see what the Orion's actions will be. Taking a mental note, you decide to leave the bar and talk to Jimpok's aide. Last time I played through this mission, this Farasan skirt was causing her legs to be invisible. That was funny. Sir Boulevard fixed the mission, and apparently the mission took 8 hours to republish. That's how complicated this mission is. But, you remember how I coughed? Yeah, that Orion dancer. Yeah. If you haven't figured it out yet, that's your problem. Come on. I have a private comm line open to Jimpok's aide, sir. Lieutenant General, what is the situation? Kapla! This sounds like the making of a glorious battle. Still, the Shiassi will try to stay hidden in the shadows like the Patak they are. The convoy you mentioned had made a stop at a Romulan starbase captured from Starfleet in the early 23rd century, called Archer Station in the Murad system. Your best opportunity at finding them... Yeah, that sentence is wonky. Your best opportunity at finding them before the Shiassi. Meanwhile, Satah Srufal and I will begin looking into these rumors of armed rebels. If the Shiassi are involved, we will contact you. I appreciate it. We will depart immediately. We should depart from Murad immediately, sir. We have no time to delay if the Shiassi have pursued this convoy. Let's get moving. Koi killes puklod, koi pukbek pu. Yeah, Sir Boulevard makes some complex missions, but it's definitely worth. All of his missions are very high quality. I plan on doing his first Fed side mission after I play the featured episode missions that I talked about in the first reboot episode. because it is part of the Iconian War anthology, which means you need to have at least played Blood of Ancients beforehand to make sure there's no spoilers. So I will be playing through most of the featured episodes on camera, just to get that story in so that there are no spoilers, and then I will do that mission. So, we have arrived in the Maraud system. Archer Station is directly ahead. Set course for the station. We will hail them when within range. Hail Archer Station. Said hail Archer Station. Archer Station... I skipped a dialogue by accident. Hold on. Klingon vessel, this is Archer Station of the Romulan Republic. Please identify yourself. Kapla, Archer Station. Transmitting codes. Registration received. Identification confirmed, IKS Herg Sotage. My name is Attaché Dela. How may I assist you? We are tracking a convoy. Yes, they passed through here yesterday. They had several issues with their communications rates. The ship had altered course back to New Romulus for repairs. Do you have their course data? Fortunately, we've had a trouble infestation in our computer core. However, the data is available in our navigation satellite. Unless you would like to help us deal with the tribbles. You can take care of your own pest problem. Very well. Access codes for the satellite are being transmitted to your ship. Thank you, Attaché. On a direct course. Huh, there are ships. Wonder what these guys are doing here. We have the data. Breen ships near the satellite are hailing us and arming weapons. We will not have our navigational data stolen by the Empire. Patak! We have no interest in your data! Inferior beings in transmission. These guys I've got to be careful with, because they use tractor beams, and tractor beams decloak you. That's how I solved that problem. Let them tractor each other. And watch as the web mines do their work. Uh-oh. We got decloaked. Jam the sensors. Notice how that flesh brick is dying from damage over time. That's one of the abilities of the ship. Polarize the hull to resist the tractor beam. And then kill the fool generating it. Dispersal beta. Now watch your futures end. That's why I use web mines. They wreck. Lieutenant General, I detect no more Breen ships on sensors. We should progress on the course the convoy took. The angle right. We are in position, sir. Engage. I'll be in my ready room. Apparently with a full away team. I'm inviting my entire bridge office. I'm inviting my entire bridge crew to my away team, or to my ready room. Foundry limitations. Foundry limitations. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing they can do about it. I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied. Perhaps I'm doing too much reading. Loading, loading, loading. Loading ready room. Talk to library computer. The Jackal Mastiff you acquired on Rue Repente sits loyally in his bed. It has been a long time since that mission, but he has remained a faithful companion since. Indeed he has. Kapla, you worthy dog. Kapla. What good is a warrior without some good old-fashioned tests of strength? Glory and honor to you, Captain. Please select the data entry you wish to view for the glory of the Empire. Melanie Dion. Occupation, head of Orion Syndicate, DOB unknown, status unknown. Melanie Dion is the current head of the Orion Syndicate, after assassinating the former head Ramus in 2387. In 2388, Dion began negotiating with both the Klingon Empire and the Breen Confederacy to assist with aid following depletion of resources on the Orion homeworld in the Rigel system. In 2394, a non-aggression and mutual defense treaty was signed by Melanie Dion, posing as a slave girl for Hassan the Undying and the Klingon High Council. Dion has not once appeared before the Klingon High Council, instead preferring to send ambassadors in her stead. Klingon intelligence was not able to identify which slave girl Dion posed as to hide her identity. As such, her facial identity is an enigma. The Orion Syndicate has signed a treaty, being fully absorbed into the Klingon Empire. In exchange, the Syndicate helps regulate imperial economics and receives Terhas Mor as their new home world. Many Orions have used the opportunity to leave Syndicate business and join the Klingon Defense Force with the blessing of Melanie Dion. The Orions have self-rule of their world, but do not have a representative on the High Council. Melanie Dion may appear before the High Council as a non-voting member of said council, but has never formally accepted the position. As such, the invitation remains open. Pronunciation Guide. That's just extra stuff. High Council members. King Slothis. The head pirate. And that's all we really need to know. That's just bonus mission. That's just bonus information. Review for us in database. Turk Sataj. Oh, actually, thought just occurred to me. I should probably move my bridge officers, because they will get in the way. All of you over there. ID pass. Kapla! How may this database bring you glory today? Clan Shiassi. One of the oldest Frost Prides. Clan Shiassi was among the 7 who most of this we read last time, but there is one important thing. Red flag. A red flag has been placed in the sentry. Notice, Klingon intelligence to Lieutenant General Illusion. There is a Frost in exile from Clan Shiassi aboard the Herg Sotage. Crew manifest. Duty officer roster. Niaru Urao. Rank, Beck. Ship's assistant cook. Assigned stardate 87486.32. Why are we using Federation dating systems? Familiar interaction, Frost and Clan none. Exiled, reason for exile unknown. Status on Farasa, permitted personal exile. Further reading, personal exile. Clan exile in Farasa usually means to condemn a clan to death. However, individuals from clans may be exiled from clans without the harsh punishment of driven into the woods supply list. Individuals may be exiled from a clan either by serving as a dissenting voice among the clan that is viewed as too dangerous to keep around, or as a liability to the clan, usually for political reasons. As such, personal exile usually ensures a temporary period of 5 years without a clan to purge the dishonor from them. Afterwards, the accomplishment of the years in exile can be used to join another clan, or, in rare occasions, showcases organizations that serve as a replacement for clans off-world. Great! My chef could have been poisoning me, but I need to know more. Frost and cruisers. Disruptors, photon torpedoes, enhanced cloaking technology, heavy scan module, sensor scrambling technology. And Shiassi vessels have since been modified illegally with black market technology and rated tech. Stats on these vessels are unavailable. More information on the Frost and Eugenics program. I'm not going to read that because that would take way the hell too long. Contact vessel. Although, if you do play this mission, go ahead and read it for yourself. Mess Officer Jidan here. How can I help you, Captain? Some gach? Gorn blood fleas? Maybe some Nausicaa and liver pie? No thank you, Mess Officer. Can you send back Nyara Urao to my ready room? Of course, sir. If she has offended you in some way, I assure you she will not do so again upon her return. Assuming she does return. She has done nothing of the sort. Simply send her to me at once. Of course, sir. Forgive my indiscretion. Decisions. Report to Airlock 2 at once. You wait several minutes until your ready room doorbell rings. You call for the person outside to enter. A young Frosten girl, no more than 16, enters your ready room. She wears the insignia of a mess hall Beck. Beck Ruau, we need to talk. Captain, General, how may I be of help to you? I want to know more about... Sir, I'm nobody, a simple chef aboard the vessel. I prepare food for the crew, even you on occasion. I made that big celebratory blood pie last week after the victory in the Solanae Dyson Sphere against that Viriosaurus Rex. I remember. You cook well, Beck. Thank you, sir. That means so much to me. Well, Beck, I need to know the truth about your heritage. My heritage, sir? I'm an exile for us. I have no heritage, no family. I'm nobody. Before that, I was a member of Clan Shiassi. I'm not a member of the Shiassi anymore. I was sent into the exile when I was 11 years old. It's been 3 years since. I've not seen another member of my old clan since then. I was left abandoned in the capital until Ambassador Satas took me in and brought me back to Kronos. When I was 13, what is the Frosten equivalent to the Age of Ascension, I signed under the Klingon Defense Force as a cook. I'm not like the others, sir, I swear. Satas? The Beck begins to cry. Yes, sir, he's my adoptive father now. He took me in from the streets of Frossa when he helped negotiate the first details of the Frost and KDF alliance. He saw me crying like I am now, naked in the streets of Valis late one night during the talks. He wrapped me in his cloak and took me back to his hotel room. He gave me fresh food and water before he went out and brought me some clothes. He said I reminded him of the orphans on the streets of Gornar in the days in the invasion of the Klingons. He was helpless to save many of them while he was trying desperately to negotiate the terms of the Gorn's entrance to the Empire. He told me I could not save any of them, but I could save you. That sounds like Satas. Naru nods. For the next 2 days, the remainder of the negotiations, he asked that I stay in the hotel room out of sight. He didn't want me to look like a political maneuver on behalf of the Empire, or a scandal. After the conference, he arranged to take me home to Gornar with him, but the Empire needed him on Kronos. Satas, having never married, took me with him as his ward. After a year, he formally adopted me. I have spent the last 4 years in the shadows of the Great Hall in Kronos, out of the sight for my father's sake, but taking in the culture and the society around me. I've grown to love the Klingons and their culture. My trunk under my bunk is filled with Klingon literature, including Shakespeare, of course, Klingon opera like Malata, and I've even developed a taste for Raktajino. You can go down and see for yourself. The picture she hands you is of her and Ambassador Satas and Gornar during some lavish festival in the capital. You note that Satas has never looked this happy around you in his life, and the girl standing before you held in his arms not as a lover but as a father holding his teenage child. You really love him, don't you? Yes, I do. He's... Father, I get it. Thank you, sir. Now, what are you going to do with me? I need to know where you stand on your old clan. I was exiled for from Clan Shiassi for refusing to undergo a genetic modification. I was always a child of nature. I believe strongly in the Pharosan belief of villain rule, harmony of nature. Many Pharosans, even those who are modified, respect it. We have changed our genetic code, but we must be one with our nature. Changing us to survive is one thing. Changing us into monsters who breathe fire and throw things with their minds is another. I am not Shiassi. No matter what my genes say, those miserable Patak can kiss my furry back. That won't be necessary. I think you've proved your point. Thank you, sir. Any family of Satas is welcome here, Niaru. Don't you worry. Thank you. Your words do me a great honor. That was an explosion. Bridge. Lieutenant General, we've been struck by debris from a freighter. I'm scanning ahead. Sir, I've detected the convoy. They're dead in space near the Azure Nebula. Let's beam the 30 feet to the bridge. Let's get going. This is no time to walk. We need to beam. That right there was a nice little touch. Having Satas adopt a Pharosan. It's actually kind of sweet. Mucho respecto. Uh-oh. I might start chugging here for a little while. My laptop needs to be charged. We'll see whether or not we chug in a few minutes. If we do, I'll probably pause the recording for 5 or 10 minutes and then fuse the two videos together. Lieutenant General, the convoy is directly ahead, near the Azure Nebula. Set course, Kapla. Drop to impulse. So, the convoy appears to have been raided. I am detecting both Pharosan disruptor fire as well as some phaser fire on the hulls. Sir, there is a disabled Galor-class cruiser at the end of the convoy, and it's being repaired by a Shiassi warship. We should engage the Shiassi Patak before they get away. Dun 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 dun. Ah, would you look at that? A Moog-class battlecruiser. Apparently they weren't entirely unescorted. They're just idiots. Right. This is a bird of prey, so it gets raider flanking, which means if I shoot their rear 90-degree arc, I do extra damage.
Warning. Shiassi under attack.
This is a reskinned Derrix, so I'm just gonna gravity well that. Fuck you! Give me your loot. It did manage to decloak me with the tractor beam, but that's okay. Because it didn't last 2 shakes. Cry havoc. The Shiassi ships are destroyed, but their Galor is still disabled. I'm reading sporadic life signs, but it's not clear if they are Pharosan. We will beam over and investigate. Meanwhile, on Kronos, Ambassador Rufal's office. Doorbell chimes. Come in. Hello, Ambassador. I wanted to see you again. I have so many questions for you. I'm sure you do. Unfortunately, your pheromones aren't going to work on me. Oh, why is that? Because I like men, you idiot. I guess I no longer have to keep the pretense of liking a pussycat. Likewise. At least this isn't unamusing. This is basically supposed to be a cutscene. Door opens behind the girl. I held her like you requested, sir. She is all yours. Now leave us. You won't be able to leave. We fully expected you would want to personally oversee this. Don't bother with the pheromones. I've already taken an inhibitor. Trying to leave would also be futile. I've set up roughly a dozen transport inhibitors, as well as a Klingon honor guard behind this door. It's time we finally talked in person. I see. Very well, but I have answers I require as well. Meanwhile, on the Shiassi cruiser, death! Death to the enemy! Some fine green tea. Let's just say we're going to be finding out who that Orion is shortly. Or at least by the end of the mission. Stolen Cardassian cruiser, eh? Sir! Epos! Here we go again. Kill them! Kill them all! Mind crush! No, I do not want an Epo friend. Starting to become annoyed by the Shiassi's choice in combat creatures. I'm sick of these Takkan as well. Sir, it looks like we beamed to the astrometrics lab. Perhaps the computers will have some useful data for us. Perhaps they will. Interacting. Beep boop boop. It appears they have a base nearby in the Azure Nebula. Good choice between the nebula's interference and the Tholian presence. And the subspace tunnels in that nebula. Reference to Star Trek Destiny. If you haven't read the trilogy, you need to. It would be the best place to hide out. We should head towards the bridge and arm the ship's self-destruct. It's like these Epos weren't the only creatures on board. Now, I say that it's a Star Trek Destiny reference at the subspace tunnels, but this game does actually reference that as well. Then again, it's probably just a reference to both things. I see enemies on the map. You know, send in the cannon fodder. Holy shit, actual Shiassi. They sent themselves to do their own dirty work for once. Sir, this is the Hogsottage. Ambassador Satas and the Zidanis have arrived. Apparently they have been trying to reach us for hours, and got diplomatic permission to access the new Romulus transwarp gateway to arrive here so fast. We've informed them of the situation, and they are beaming some Gorn troopers into a cargo hold near your location. They believe the ship you are on is carrying a biological specimen, modified by the Shiassi. I can confirm that. Sir, those teams might need assistance. As much as I hate to say it, those Epos have proven to be a decent menace, and in numbers they could overwhelm. Agreed. Inform Satas we are moving to assist his troops. What in the... Nanovs? It appears the Epos haven't been the Shiassi's only specimens. Your mastery of understatement is noted. So they're getting their rears kicked over there. Sir, my father wishes to beam to your location. Okay, Satas can beam in. You better just get to killing. Fecklary Nanovs. What could be worse? What? What is going on? It would appear, sir, the Shiassi were modifying more than just Epos. Your mastery of understatement is noted, General. I just said that to one of my officers. I don't care, my officers are getting slaughtered in there. Short of you beaming them out of there, really isn't anything we can do. And even that won't work because the transporters would have difficulty getting a lock on that many life signs. Why did you beam them on board once we were already here? I thought you might require assistance. Plus the scanners indicated the life forms were in cages. Maybe you tripped a security alert. No shit. So your daughter is a member of my crew? Yes, I thought she would learn a lot from you. You know my troops are dead now. I want the ship blown up. Now, get to it. Yes, sir. Gladly, sir. Explosions are my specialty. I'm gonna want to be in aim mode for this one. Lead with the cryo grenade so they can't go anywhere. I am not fucking around. Oh look! The Shiassi pilot is dead. Let's just make sure of that, shall we? Three in the skull. Best way to make sure. The controls have been rewritten into Frossen, and with the translator currently failing to get good grammar out of spoken Frossen, let alone a written language with multiple redundancies, you realize this may take a while. With some work in a few minutes, you find either the self-destruct or chocolate cake. You assume the former and get a warning message, but best as you can tell, there is damage to the timer system, and the self-destruct can only be detonated remotely. In addition, starting up the charges release some low-level Tetrion emissions into the bridge that will disrupt the transporters. You will need to return the way you came to beam off. Yeah, I'm sure that's not an intentional security feature at all. What are those red dots on the minimap? Yep. Oh god! Kill it now! Someone res me now! Ah! I think this is the reskinned Feklar. That's what makes this mission so awful and awesome. Mind Crush! Also fire on my mark. Kill it now! Photon grenade! Die. It's still twitching. Disintegrate the corpse. More of them. Now that they're incapable of moving, hit them with the Polaron barrage. Because there's no kill like overkill. Polaron barrage is a special kit module that came out of the VOD Warlock box. So, actually I have one that I'm not using, so if you're a tactical officer and want Polaron bombardment, send me an in-game PM at Lord Ice, and I'll go ahead and type it into the chat right now so that you can see it. At Lord Ice. I don't need to be given EC for it, but if you want to make an offer, I am more than willing to accept. If you want that Polaron bombardment thing, because I'm not using it right now, I've already got one. Sir, we have a lock when you're ready to come aboard. Energize. I see. See, you had no idea about Msan. She died for... Had you sent an envoy to me instead of trying your usual deceptive ways, perhaps you would still be alive now. I have no ill will to your people. You act as you always have, in your own best interest. The lack of intelligence on Farasa was your undoing. Perhaps working in the open would have done you some good this once. That's not who we are. I don't know anymore. I thought Why did you have to hide away like you did? Why? I must look after my own people. No offense, but I doubt the Syndicate has Faraz's best interest in mind. If it's any consolation, had I known about your alliance with the Shiassi, I would not have let Msan leave. She did not deserve to die. For the moment, whatever ideological differences we have must be put aside. The Shiassi are still out there, and they are mobilizing something. No, you're right. This is not the time to fight with each other. Right now we have a mutual enemy, and a mutual cause. Revenge. Everyone loves revenge, right? I am sure the Klingons do. And the Noskins. Lithians. I'm sure Sitas has a stockpile of it somewhere. And the Romulans run on the stuff. I care more for life and making a better future. Call me a bleeding heart, but I became a politician to help people, not dominate or crush them. Though, sometimes that is required of me. Forgive me, Patriarch. I have emergency intel for you and your spy here. The Shiassi are on the move. It appeared we had less time than we thought. Meanwhile... I should clarify that the Polaron bombardment thing comes out of a box of Vodwar tech modules, and the tech module that you get is class-based, so if you want the engineer or science one, that is also valid. It just happens to give Polaron bombardment if you're tactical. Sir, I'm hooked into the Shiassi Galor's auto-destruct program. On your orders, sir. Why do we have to activate the self-destruct? Why don't we just use torpedoes? Type 8 shuttle fell out of the damaged shuttle on its way to the ship. Salvageable, if nothing else, we would have a good ship for sneaking across Federation borders in the future. Bring us close enough to beam the shuttle into our cargo hold. Mine. We have the shuttle, sir. We're also being held by Ambassador Sitas. General, I don't like that I am just sent 15 of my best men to their deaths. At the same time, the Zindaris is not equipped to fight off Farasan forces. You head to the Azure Nebula and kill these Slanya before I change my mind and want to get my claws on them. In the meantime, I'll attempt a rescue of the other vessel's surviving personnel. Kapla. I see. Thank you for the report. You are dismissed, Captain. Then we must prepare immediately. If that many cloaked fleets are moving through the Empire, I must go to Terhas Mor and mount a defense immediately. And I must return to Faraz to gather the Shadow Force and the Honor Guard. We have little time to act. Indeed, this has been most illuminating, Patriarch. But do not stand in my way again. As long as the Syndicate stays off Faraz, you will have no issue with me. I'm open to negotiation with the Syndicate, but do it through official channels. I'm willing to even entertain the idea of exclusivity with you. And before you go, I want you to have this. What is this? Oh my goodness. The belt loop has a personal shield generator of Faraz and Honor Guard make. The necklace has a nanopulse generator that will produce nanopulse armor if you ever end up in a firefight. Consider it a gift from the head of Faraz to you, personally. Hopefully the first of many between our leadership. Thank you, Ruzith. I will remember this. Fight well. Indeed, you as well. Thank you. See you in the Great Hall soon, whelp. Now the true battle begins. We await your command, my lady. This is the course for Terhas Mor, maximum warp. Strength is required today. I have a dress to try on. You might have noticed that Rosith said leadership in that pseudo cutscene. Yeah. Cat's not quite out of the bag yet, so I'm not going to say it. But you should be able to figure it out by now. I really wish loading times for Foundry maps weren't as long, but there's not much we can do about it. It's probably an engine limitation. Welcome to the nebula. Sir, we've arrived at the coordinates that we found on the Galor. I have adjusted the sensors to penetrate the nebula interference, sir. Ready to scan for the Shiassi on your mark. What are you waiting for? You know what I'm going to say. No signs of the Shiassi, sir. I am, however, reading several possible energy sources. Beck, you know the Shiassi better than I advise. My best guess is to follow the most likely energy source. If they could harness it to power their base, it would greatly reduce the need for external supplies and provide a nice little cloak to sensors, which would pass as part of the nebula. Smarter than you think you look for your age. Shiassi children are taught in an early age how to perform subterfuge, like all Ferocans. I may not be good at it, but I still remember a few old tricks my old mentors taught me. Personally, I'm not one for sneaking around. The honorable path involves looking your enemy in the face. Stas has taught you well. Helm, set course for the largest energy source. We're about to see just how not good she is at it. Oh, here we are. So, these ships appear to be derelicts attacked by the Tholdians in the last few months. All the registries are confirmed, but there are still latent power sources in the debris field. However, I'm reading a strange energy signature directed at further into the asteroid field. We may have tripped a sensor alarm. Yep, they're probably right. Makes sense to make the obvious choice of sensor perimeter. If we have alerted the Shiassi to our presence, then they will either gather forces or flee. This isn't likely their only base, but they won't let it fall into enemy hands. Follow the signal. Like I said, you're about to see just how not good she is at subterfuge. She should have fucking thought of that. Hey look, a base. I wonder what it could be. No, come back! I want to kill you all!
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Y'all are fucked. Not even going to cloak for this. You're not worth my time. And then the base explodes, because no disintegrations. So the Shiassi fleet has gone to warp, and the station appears to have self-destructed upon the destruction of its defenses. Likely as a last measure, there's nothing salvageable. What about the warp trail? Nebula is causing too much even for my modifications. They're gone, sir. Sir, incoming transmission. It's Ambassador Satas, emergency channel. General, several planets in Klingon space have just declared independence from the Empire and started assaults on local Imperial forces. Among the worlds revolting include Korvat, Ganalda IV, and Arcanus. In addition, several fleets of Ferocin design have been spotted on sensors decloaking and heading for more unsecure locations. One of the fleets is heading for Terras Mor, the new Orion homeworld? No doubt to finish what they started with Msan. I want you to intercept that fleet. I've already sent a message to the Orions. They'll be mobilizing, but I think some extra help is needed. And frankly, we need them on our side. This is it, isn't it? Father, what are you going to do? I need to gather the Gorn forces. Our best chance is to stand together. I'll also conduct the Ferocin Pride's Nausicaan Head Pirate and Lethean Contingency Organization. We have no time to lose. Daughter, stay with the General. The crew of the Hurg Sotage will protect you with their life. I can't wait any longer. Zindaris out. Mine guide you, Satas. To Terras Mor! And a meeting with an old face. You should have figured it out by now, but I'm still not going to say it. And this is going to be a long recording session. I still have Honor of the Empire to do, and I'm pretty sure that's the longest of the three. It is also the most fun, especially because of the ending. Segues right into, I want to say surface tension, but I could be wrong. Sir, I'm detecting fire between Orion ships and Shiassi vessels. In addition, they appear to be several Ganaldan vessels engaging with the Shiassi against the Orions. Attack! In this mission, the Shiassi are reskinned Ilachi. Everyone trapped in that gravity well is fucked. And that's why. Torpedoes out. Web mine's active. Looks like we got a Shiassi Geller with that one, and it's dead. Huh! You subspace jumped as you warp core breached. Ow! Ooh, he hit me with a spread. Ow. Yeah, I told you the ship was made of wet toilet paper. I mean, it only has a max hull of like 25,000. 32,000. Sorry.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
I should probably do a more in-depth explanation of this build, and I will. In fact, I should probably do it at the end of the mission. The Shiassi fleet is down, but the Orion ship that warped in, sir, the registry indicates that it's one of Milani Dion's flagships. She's hailing you specifically. About fucking time. General illusion, I was wondering how long it would be until we had this chat. You! You're the dancer at the nightclub! You can't be Milani Dion! Oh yes I can, Lieutenant General. This isn't the first time I've posed to some green-skinned space babe. The first time, most of the people who've seen me like that don't look at my face. Credit where it's due, you did do that. Besides, after what happened to Masan, I couldn't risk another agent doing this job, and going to Kronos under a banner of the Syndicate would have raised more flags. This required a delicate touch, and Satas is drowsy by his love for Meridor. You little... Spare me the insults and let's get down to business, shall we? You want to know why we gave the Epos and other biological samples to the Shiassi? Yes, I do. Look, Ferostans have been a hard market to break it. Ferost has been a hard market to break into. The Ferostans keep their world very well isolated from the rest of the galaxy. There weren't even a blip on the Dominion's radar when they were sending out non-aggression backs left and right. I've only been allowed to send slave traders down on the condition they be all male, and only bring Cation slaves with bounties on their heads. So, this was all about expanding business opportunities. Of course, the Shiassi offered us a chance to open more trade on Farasa in exchange for supplies. At first it was for simple things: food, clothes, medical supplies, the occasional aftermarket ship. They paid okay, but the moneymaker was waiting for the long run. They gave us first access to their supply of Napata, which was lucrative, but around 3 months ago they started asking for rare biological specimens for experimentation. We started to gather them for the Shiassi. None of it seems like it was going anywhere, but up. We got paid, the Shiassi got supplies, and eventually when the Shiassi were ruling the Patriarchy, we would get trade deals. But you had to have known that would have been impossible with them in exile. I know they are exiles now, after they killed my little sister. It is one thing to betray the Syndicate and get away scot-free. It is another to betray us, lie to us, and kill my little sister. You might think us ruthless traitors, General, but we Orions have a code of honor for ourselves. I will not take this lying down. So the Syndicate is willing to admit its wrongdoing to help us fight this scourge? What happened was a mistake, no doubts about that. But I won't be talked down to. However, at this moment, we seem to need each other to fight this threat. I will accompany you to Kronos. The situation will need to be resolved in front of the High Council, not here. The honor of the Orion people is on my shoulders, and I cannot let them down in our darkest hour, as creatures of evil birth fall toward us. Set a course for Kronos. Inform Shiassi we are away with Milani Dion in tow. Dun, dun, dun. Now, I did promise to go over the build. I already mentioned in the last episode the duty officer arrangement, but it's time to go more into how to get the gear. You're going to want Tier 5 Omega Reputation. The reason for this is because I am using the Honor Guard 3 set. Not because I want this 3 set bonus, but because each of the 3 items is beneficial for this set. The Honor Guard Deflector gives the best stats for this because it gives structural integrity for hull hit points. EPS isn't that bad. Flow capacitors don't really need. Graviton generators makes your gravity wells pull more, which is very good. Stealth, which improves your cloaking. Particle generators, which boosts the damage your gravity well does. And it improves the holds and disables from other things because of the subspace decompiler. That includes the disable effect from the tricobalt mines, so that's a good thing. Engines, efficient at low power, which means I'm not using that. We get extra weapon and shield setting, which I'm not using, and hot restart. Basically, you're immune to engine disables when you have the Honor Guard engine equipped. And that's important because, as you can see, we only actually use 2 power levels in this ship. The others are set super low. The Honor Guard shield, last time I checked, was the highest base capacity shield in the game, and on the rare occasion you're decloaked, because you're cloaked so much, it's a waste of time to put points into shield systems, but if you do get decloaked, you're going to want to have a high capacity, so that's what the Honor Guard shield is for. You are going to want at least the 2 set, and if you get the 2 set, I recommend the deflector and engines. 2 set is tactical readiness, plus 25% torpedo weapon damage, plus 8.1 aux setting, and crew stuff. The 3 set is mask energy field. It's an AoE mask energy signature. I kind of use that to hide if I'm in an oh shit situation where I get decloaked, but I've also got antimatter spread for that. So, reputation, you want Tier 5 Omega for all of that equipment. You're also going to want at least Tier 3 because that's where you can buy the Borg duty officers that I'm using for the projectiles. 6 of 6. Nukara Strike Force, you want to have Tier 4 so you can use the aux config defense. But you're also going to be getting at least Tier 2 so that you can get the web mine launcher. Molrihan, you just want the precision trait for the crit chance. Joint Command, Tier 2 gives you a crit severity bonus, but you're going to want Tier... I guess I have Tier 3 for some reason? You'll want Tier 2 because you want the gravimetric torpedo launcher. Tier 1 will give you the proton particle stabilizer, and you want the Tier 2 trait. I think I got Tier 3 in Joint Command, or Counter Command, to buy the torpedoes, but I have yet to do that. Delta Alliance, you're going to want Tier 2 because I am actually requisitioning the neutronic torpedo and gel packs. The 2 set for that gives you a bonus to radiation damage, and the trait, the reputation traits that you use. Omega Kinetic Shearing does, it deals 40% of your kinetic damage as a shield penetrating dot, and if I'm correct, that is a radiation dot, which means that the passive will boost it. Delta Rep, you get armor penetration, and then you've got the crit chance. I'm not using the crit severity right now because I'm using other traits right now. But you're going to want accurate. I'm using telekinesis because I like the trait. Hot Pursuit doubles your mine chase distance. That will heal you a little bit, plus defense, crippling fire. This is actually a really good one. 10% chance to confuse the target for 3 seconds whenever you hit someone with a torpedo. Since you're firing a torpedo every second, that means you have a 10% chance per second to cause a confuse effect. That's strong. That's really strong. Of course, I'm using the Dyson 2 set. I've got 3 photon detonation assemblies. These will eventually be locators. Assimilated module for the crit chance and crit severity. Rule 62 for the torpedo and mine damage. This for the set effect, although actually there's no stats on that are actually useful for me. If it wasn't for the 2 set, I'd probably ditch it. I am flying the Burrell Bird of Prey retrofit, but I don't technically own it. I bought it with a veteran token a long time ago. So if I wanted to get the fleet version, it would cost me 5 fleet ship modules, and I don't want to do that. I will eventually get the tier 5 fleet version and then upgrade it. That'll give me an extra science and tactical console slot, and I intend to use those very well. But that's basically the overview of the torpedo boat. You spam torpedoes, you stay cloaked, and you kill everything. Until next time, however, this is Lord A signing off. See you out there, and by out there, I mean Kronos.